Beauty standards, like fashion, change over time. In the days before we had social media, beauty habits were dictated by where you lived and your ethnicity. You were pretty much isolated. Your only influence could have been your mom, the town's local hot girl, or Her Royal Highness, the Queen. But in the late 1800s to early 1900s, magazines became a thing and women were exposed to a new form of being influenced. However, it wasn't until the 40s and 50s that Hollywood stars began appearing in magazines and on TV. And it was in that moment that celebrities in traditional media began to dictate the ideal beauty standard. Fast forward to 2019, and these days social media is the media. And platforms like Instagram can tell us exactly who is the most followed and therefore the most influential at this very second. Naturally, these influencers have become the new beauty standard. But what exactly is the new beauty standard? Like, when people in the future look back at 2019, what will they say was the ideal body type? Well, I decided to find out for myself, and I wanted to make it as scientific as one possibly can when looking at beauty standards. First, I made a list of the top 100 female Instagram stars purely based on following. FYI, the #1 spot currently goes to Ariana Grande at 164 million followers, next is Selena Gomez at 156 million followers, and then Kim Kardashian at 147 million followers. Then, I came up with 22 attributes that each woman could be judged on. These included things like hair color, hair length, neck length, face shape, body shape, eye color, clothing size, flatness of stomach, lip size, eye size, nose size, skin color, chest size, prominence of butt, age, height, etc. I worked with a fellow researcher to get as accurate an answer as possible per attribute. Things like height were straightforward and easy to find online. But other things like chest size and prominence of butt were more subjective, so we had to do our best by analyzing the influencers' latest pictures on Instagram. After a couple weeks of gathering data and categorizing data, I can tell you that there is most definitely a formula and a very specific beauty standard that the top 100 most followed women on Instagram adhere to. It's fascinating, but also incredibly eerie in a time when you would think social media has evened the playing field for women of all body types, sizes, ethnicities, and skin color. So, are you ready to hear the results? Here's the beauty breakdown of your top 100 most followed females on Instagram. The most common age is 22 years old. The most common height is 5'7". She has dark eyes. 75% of the top 100 female Instagrammers have brown eyes. She has big eyes. Only 15% of the top 100 have small eyes. She has dark hair. 78% of the top 100 have black or brown hair. Only 20% are blonde and 2% are redheads. Her hair reaches mid-back. Mid-back is the most popular cut, coming in at 48%, while the second most popular hairstyle is shoulder length, coming in at 30%. She has a flat stomach, but is not muscular. 89% of the top 100 women have flat abs, but it's important to note that none of them have a visible six-pack. She does not have thin lips. Only 29% of the top 100 have thin lips, but in the top 10, thin lips drops to only 10%. She is a light-skinned Caucasian. Only 8% of the top 100 female Instagrammers are black. She does not have small boobs. 89% of the top 100 have boobs that are a B cup or higher. She has a heart-shaped face with a pointy chin. Heart-shaped is the most popular, then oval, then square, then round. She has a small nose. 93% of the top 100 have small noses. She has an hourglass figure. The most popular body shape is hourglass, followed by thin and straight, aka a rectangle. She has a long neck. More than 72% have long, slender necks. I think you can begin to see the ideal Instagram beauty standard in your head, right? But in case you're having trouble visualizing, no worries, I've already done the work for you. To take this whole project a step further, I decided it would be interesting to try to turn myself into a top 100 female Instagrammer, but I needed a little help. First, makeup. Easy glam makeup. There are a lot of options. Oh, look at this girl. She looks totally different. I'm kind of excited because I've never followed a makeup tutorial before, like ever. So I picked the glammest thing I could find, and we're gonna be doing Hannah Renee's How to Be a Catfish in 2019 Glam AF makeup tutorial. Honestly, you guys, I don't know what I'm doing. My face just looks really dirty. Okay, so here's my finished look. I don't feel like it looks as good as hers. Anyway, I'm gonna straighten my hair, add extensions, and let's see how this looks. Then, the clothes. I went shopping at Junior's fast fashion stores like Forever 21 and Love Culture and picked the most outrageous, influencer-y looking things I could find. Like lots of gold jewelry and ridiculous rhinestone sneakers. Also, can you believe I found a shirt that said influencer? I have to admit, I was really embarrassed when I was buying it. After I put on my clothes and stuffed my Victoria's Secret industrial strength push-up bra with chicken cutlets. So this is the final look. These shoes are actually really cool. Kind of like them, but I don't know when I would ever wear them. And yeah, look at these nails. How insane are these nails? They're kind of cool. I asked my Instagram husband if he could shoot some photos of me looking like a typical influencer. After the photo shoot, I sent the pictures to our resident artist Daniel and asked him to Photoshop my features to match those of the top 100 female Instagrammers. So here you can see Daniel photoshopping my head to look more like a heart shape. He's making my nose smaller, my lips bigger, fixing up my eyes so they look bigger as well, making my neck long and slender, and of course adding a couple cup sizes to my boobs, and then adding some booty, and then lightening my skin so I look more Caucasian. So, are you ready to see what I'd look like if I were a top 100 female Instagrammer? Here's my before shot. No makeup, no filters, no Photoshop. Now here is what I would look like if I were a top 100 female Instagrammer. Let's take it from the side. Here's me, no Photoshop, no makeup. And here's me, reimagined as a top 100 female Instagrammer. And finally, here's my makeupless selfie, no Photoshop. And get ready for this. This would be my face if I were a top 100 female Instagrammer. I wanted to see how the beauty standards of today's era have changed, if at all. I find it interesting that being blonde and blue-eyed is no longer the desired beauty ideal according to Instagram. But I also find it interesting that in the era of the most body-positive revolution, only 5 out of the top 100 female Instagrammers were plus size. And in the top 10, 0 were plus size. It's weird because Instagram is a place of free will. We choose to follow who we idolize. No media company or advertising agency is telling us who's beautiful and who's not, and yet we still are somehow adhering to the old beauty standards of idolizing light-skinned, large-chested women with big eyes and small waists. One could argue that many of the top 100 are females in the entertainment industry, so the beauty standards are still being dictated by men sitting in a conference room at some big record label or movie studio. But even so, the first 2 non-actress, non-singer, and non-Kardashians to break into the top 100 is Huda Beauty at 39 million followers and Lele Pons at 36 million followers. Both happen to be light-skinned, large-chested women with big eyes and small waists. Interesting, right? I wonder what the next beauty ideal will look like 10 years from now and 100 years from now. Leave a comment below and make your predictions. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.